So the trial 2 is about digital agriculture, increasing the capacity of farm service advisors to engage with digital agriculture. The lead RDC is cotton, and the partners on the project are sugar, and we do have some involvement from the horticultural industry as well. Our trial team, so we have Warwick Waters, who's here from Cotton Info, he's the program manager for that. We've got Peter Sampson and Anthony Curo from the sugar industry, and Margaret, who's right up the back there as the research officer on the project, and myself. So we're calling ourselves the trial team. So what questions are we asking for this trial? There's 3 main questions we're looking at. What are the benefits, opportunities and potential risks for consultants to invest in the capacity building related to digital ag? So, and what are the effective processes for this capacity building in digital agricultural tools and techniques? And what is an effective process for co-developing digital agricultural tools and techniques from an industry perspective? So some really big questions involved in there that I think is also relevant not only to digital agriculture but the extension model in itself. The trial thus far, if you can, I hope you can all read that nice little slide, just showing where we are at right at the moment. You'll see back in March we ran the first activity of this trial, which was a scoping meeting that we held in Toowoomba. So we're right at the point now where we've actually designed the trial and going forward from here, the implementation of that actual trial. So the scoping meeting, oh, actually, did I get that one before? Oh, yes. The scoping meeting that we ran in Toowoomba was really for us to be able to stop and go, well, if we're going to design this trial, let's go and ask what the punters who are dealing in this every day actually say. So we formed what we're calling a scoping group. We got representations from a various group or demographic of people and got them together in a workshop situation for a day in Toowoomba. So who was there? There was fee-for-service cotton, sugar and consultants, and also fee-for-service precision ag consultants. We had the levy funder sugar productivity service companies, commercial farm service suppliers, actually someone from Elders was there, sugar, cotton, horticulture and livestock industry R&D representatives. We had precision ag researchers, and we also had a lady pop in that's dealing with intellectual property law in agricultural research, which is another whole huge question out there about intellectual property of data that's generated through digital agriculture, as well as obviously our project staff. So the day consisted of lots of sticky notes and walls being filled with sticky notes, but we went through a facilitated process where we basically wanted the team of people there to identify what their priority issues were. So to get to those priority issues, we went through quite a process of questions and group discussion to get them to that point of dumping out at the end, what are your priority issues in their businesses. So the 3 top priority issues that were identified and voted on by the participants, so we went through the identification process. I think we came up with about 8 or 10. Then we got everyone to vote what were the most important, and surprise, surprise, look what came out at number 1. We've been hearing it all day. Value proposition of the technology. So how can the technology improve the bottom line of an advisor's business and assist with the profitable practice change for their customers? So it was really rubber hitting the road. Yep, some of this technology is fantastic, it's great, it looks fantastic, but how does it actually assist us with practice change on farm? And for that to occur through the private advisor sector, it also needs to be able to make profitable changes for their businesses as well. The number 1, 2 was data management, capability versus usability. You've got what data management is required to use the technology, and does the advisor's business have the capacity to actually handle it? Do they need to employ someone specifically around data management? Is there companies out there that can fast track that for them? If so, how much does it cost? Where does that cost then have to flow onto? So lots of those sorts of questions. And then thirdly was around skills and support. So, yep, great to have all this technology, but do we have the skills in our current workforce to be able to actually implement the opportunities in digital agriculture? So what skills are required to effectively use this technology, and who's going to support it? So these were all questions that were coming out on the day, and as the people in the room said, these were our top priority issues that we'd like to see addressed by this trial. Just as a little side, we did have some evaluation on the day, just a few, sharing with you a few of those results. The feedback from the participants indicated that they saw the scoping workshop as extremely valuable, which was really interesting because all these people came into this room with not a great understanding. It was a bit wishy-washy about where we were heading, but by the end of the day, they saw it as an extremely valuable process for them to actually have participated in, even though it's probably raised more questions than answers for them by the end of the day. And the biggest thing is they picked up new information and ideas from each other. So they're coming through the value of networking and building relationships, building teams, collaborating. We've heard a lot of that in today's conversation. So there was one that I just picked out, which was a comment made, or the question was this discussion useful in terms of exploring the opportunities and constraints for engaging the private sector in digital agriculture in Australia? And the participant answered as extremely. So that was great. Given different experiences within the room, it was great to be able to hear and voice positive and negative points of view. So that person really saw value in spending a day out of his consulting business to actually attend this scoping meeting, which was very, very encouraging. So what are we going to do on from here? So the activity question that has fallen out of that scoping process was why would you use digital agriculture in your farm service business? So that's the question that they really want answered. And we've used a little analogy around this. I'll credit you, Warwick, with coming up with this. The technology, as a basic thing to ask, is it a lolly? Something, it's nice, but we can do without it? Is it a Panadol? Does it give us short-term pain relief? Or is it heroin? Addictive, and we cannot do without it. So that's kind of just forming a little bit of the premise around what we're going to do in the actual activity trial. So this is what we're going to embark on now. We're just about to kick off stage one of this. We're going to form a review group with maybe 5 to 7 people from different industries and different service provision. What we're aiming to do with this is develop an evaluation framework so that we can actually have something tangible that we could say, okay, here's a new technology. Okay, how's it going to fit in my business? How's it going to make practice change on farm? Is it going to be useful? Is it a lolly, Panadol, heroin? That sort of stuff. So it's about looking at the triple bottom line value proposition of that particular technology or set of technologies. So each person in the review group, after we've developed that evaluation framework, is going to select a scenario of their own that they can then test through the evaluation framework. And then we'll obviously review that and then report on the outcomes. And hopefully, at the end of the trial, we'll actually have something tangible that private advisors or advisors in general can use to be able to go, well, is this technology really going to be useful for me in my business and my customer's business? I might just skip through that next slide. That was just a bit around what we found as the main challenges and what we found worked well with the trial, but I might just skip past that one for time. So the outcome from trial 2, we would like to see the outcome, is to co-develop a new tool that can help farm advisors practically evaluate the opportunities and benefits of digital agriculture.